Hey everyone, welcome back. So I wanted to do a video on apostille work. I know I've done videos in the past, and in particular, I want to talk about translations. So many times people come to you and they say, hey, I need this notarized, or maybe they don't need it notarized, they need it translated because it's going to a different country. So for example, let's do something simple. Let's talk about, let's say, a birth certificate. Say I have my birth certificate and needs an apostille and it needs to be translated. And you're like, no problem. Or maybe you're like, I have no idea how to translate this because I don't know, Greek or whatever country, whatever language. I'm just making something up. I don't want to say Spanish because everybody's like, I know Spanish, I can translate it. I need to pick a different language that is not common, right? So so you get your language and you're like, okay, you need to translate it. You say, so the first thing you need to remember is, yes, you could do that. Okay. You can translate all 200 languages, whatever languages they are. Okay. And you do that by finding a translation service. Okay. And it has to be certified generally. So what you need to do is you're going to get the document, you're going to scan it in, and then you upload it to whoever you're going to send it to for translation. They will translate it. They will get it. You'll want to get it notarized. Okay. Hopefully it's going to be in the state in which you reside, so you don't have to go send um, to a different state. Okay. Because you want to take all those documents, staple them together, and go get it taken care of. And if you want to keep it separate, you can keep it separate too. I've done that too. So where you have the translation that's certified on, you get that apostille, and then you get your birth certificate done, and you just say, okay, here you go. You don't need a staple. Just give it to the customer, and they're good to go. Just depends on what they want. I so the key here is finding somebody that can do the translation for you, and do it now before you get the request, because you don't want to get a request and then you can't handle it. Okay, so I'm going to tell my story. Sorry, we have dogs in the neighborhood. I'm out on the front porch office. Anyway, so I had I received some document, a death certificate from a lady that was done. The guy died in Texas, so it has to go to the Secretary of State in Texas. I'm like, okay, great. So I made some phone calls and said, hey, I need this translated. Can you recommend somebody? That I was recommended a lady. I sent it over to her. I can't remember what language it was. It was a very weird language. And the lady said, no problem, we can do it. It's going to take a week or so to get back. This was last December. I'm like, okay, no problem. Actually, I got the documents in like November, I believe. So it was, I was thinking I was going to get it back the first week in December. I'm sitting there communicating, hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. I'm getting, hey, no, I'm on vacation. I can't deal with it. I'm going to have my lady in the office deal with it. Okay. So nothing back. Finally, um, between the Christmas and New Year's, I'm like, hey, I need to get this done. This lady's going to be calling for it. I need to get it. In the meantime, I couldn't wait. I just took the death certificate. I mailed it off to the Secretary of State in Texas. Okay. To get that process going, because that's 15 days just to get from, if you do it by mail, it's 15 days to get it, have them process it and mail it back. So it doesn't matter if you ship it next day air or whatever. It takes 15 days from the time they receive it to get it processed and, mailed back to you. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I mailed that off. In the meantime, this lady says, yeah, I can't help you. Go somewhere else. So she waited a whole month. It was like a whole month to tell me, yeah, go fly a kite. So I'm like, thanks for leaving me in the lurch here, you know? So then I had to research somebody. I found a company in Texas. They did the translation. It took like 2 days to get the translation. I'm like, I'm using this company again. Okay. And I think it was even cheaper than what this lady was going to charge me on top of that. So I'm like, okay, great. So I get the translation. It's all notarized, everything. It has to go to the Texas Secretary of State. Well, by this time, I can't wait for somebody. I can't mail it in. Okay. So I call a colleague that's down there in the capital city. I said, hey, do you go to the Secretary of State? Can you do this for me? He said, yeah, I can do it for you. I normally charge $200. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't pay $200. I'm going to lose money on the deal. Can you work with me and so you make some money and I can make a little bit of money? Said, yeah, I'll do it for you, Jeff, no problem. This one time. I'm like, okay, great. And I'll know for the next time if I have to hire you another time, I'll be happy to pay that fee, not a problem. So I mail it to her. She sends her husband down there to take care of it. He takes care of it. And but since it didn't have the original attached to it, they're like, we need the original. Okay. So I had the scanned copy. I sent it over to him. He printed out, stick it together, and everybody's happy. But so what was funny about this whole story is I got his back. He mailed it back to me. I received that one like 2 or 3 days before I received the original that I had mailed 15 days ahead of time. So that's another thing to be aware of, know your timing. And anyway, I got it taken care of for the lady and she showed up. I gave it to her and she's happy now. So, but anyway, that was a long story for translations. Just know who you're dealing with for the translation, get that process started. And to get that process started, it's just scan in the document, email it off, pay their fee, and then they'll get the translation back to you, and then you process the apostille from there. But that's my little story. Know who you're working with, and I'm not going to tell you who I'm working with because it might not be the person you want to work with. So just do your research because there's other people, and there's actually a group that's out there that people use on a regular basis. And I worked with another notary that uses that group, and we paid for expedited service. It wasn't expedited. So, so we paid extra money to get it expedited, and it wasn't expedited. And I didn't expect this, but that other notary actually paid me back for the expedited service because she thought it was not fair for me to pay for expedited service when it wasn't expedited. So that was great integrity on that notary, and I enjoy working with that notary in particular because she has integrity and she just does things right. So anyway, that's another thing, networking. And I'm going to make a plug again for the Notary Family, which we're going to launch in August 8th. I will put the link in the description. Join in if you're a notary. If you're not a notary and you plan on becoming a notary, join in. You can join in, no problem. But if you're not a notary and you're just watching this and you're looking for a translation, do the research, do the translation, get it done, and then you can go through the process. So I just wanted to share that with you, and have a great time. If you made it this far in the video, like and subscribe to my channel. I usually don't promote that way, but do it. I'll share whatever you want to share on my channel. And the reason I'm doing this video about translation is because I had a request to do it. So if you have a request for something in particular, if it's regarding fingerprinting or notary work, I can do it. If you want to, I don't know, if you want to know about cake decorating, I will be happy to do a video on cake decorating because I can do videos on that. If you want a video on ham radio, I can do a video on that. If it's something about car repair, I cannot do videos on car repair other than how to change your oil. Okay. Other than that, send me requests. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.